Have you ever, late at night, suddenly doubt yourself? You ask yourself, did I maybe take the wrong path? Maybe I shouldn't have quit that job. Shouldn't have chosen that major. Shouldn't have left that person. If I had chosen differently back then, would my life be better now? I once heard something I really love. I want to share with you. The investor, Naval Ravikant said, we spend so much time organizing over what to eat for lunch, what to wear tomorrow. Little things we'll forget in a day or two. But the choices that actually shape our entire life, such as what work we do, who we marry, where we live, we barely spend any time on those. He said, if you are going to spend 5 years in a job or 10 years in a relationship, you should spend a year or two really making those decisions. That made me stop and think for so long. Had I ever truly chosen my own life? Today, I want to talk to you about one of the hardest things in life, making choice. If the first episodes was about the fear of never becoming who you thought you would be, today we're going deeper into one of the most universal wounds we carry, the fear of having made the wrong choice. This is the second episode of Zen with Zhen. To explain this, I have to first tell you what kind of person I was. I was born in a small village in Chongqing, China. For as long as I can remember, my home was wrapped in a heaviness I couldn't even name it. My father was in a huge debt, and he used alcohol to escape from the pain in reality. My mother, because of that, she had a very hard temper. Between them was an endless fighting. In that environment, I grew into someone deeply insecure, with no real sense of self, someone who just drifted whatever life took her. Making any choice was hard for me. From what to eat that day to what to study in college, I never listened to my own inner voice. I always listened to everyone else. Wherever my friend wanted to go, I went. Whenever my parents wanted me to do, I did. I don't know if you've ever felt this. As a people pleaser, as a highly sensitive person, I was always confused. Growing up, why do some people know exactly what they want? And me? I could never give a clear answer. Later in life, even when I stopped just drifting, the way I made decisions still started from what I don't want. It was never what I do want. I was always the one being pushed along by fate. I left my hometown for Guangzhou, not because I had some grand dream, just because I didn't want to spend my whole life in that tiny village and living in the same copy-paste life, generation after generation. But it was that one decision to escape that led me to the first person who changed my life, my boss in Guangzhou. He gave me a chance to become a film distributor. That job showed me a much bigger world. Later, when I quit and went to America and became an au pair, it wasn't because I had some clear American dream. It was because I was being pushed down by a supervisor at work who wouldn't let me move to the department I wanted. He told me, follow his plan or find another job. I knew staying would make me miserable, but starting over at a new company scared me as well. And right at that moment, I saw an advertisement for becoming an au pair in America, and my heart jumped. Not because of any those grand dreams, just because I didn't want to face the difficulty in front of me. So I chose to run. I want to see the world became a nicer way to say it. There's a book that perfectly captured who I was then, The Alchemist. I was just like that shepherd boy, simply wanting to go see other people's homelands. So I left. I came to this strange country where I could barely speak English. In that very first month, reality slapped my fantasy hard in the face. Things didn't go well with my first host family. And then the wheel of fate carried me to a place I never dared to dream of, Hawaii. The family in Hawaii gave me unexpected warmth. The mother of that house paid me to finish a 2-year associate degree. She was like an older sister to me, even till nowadays. After I finished school, I got a 1-year work permit. I got my real estate license, hoping I could bring her company some Chinese clients. After that year, because I loved this island so much, I chose to join the military to get my citizenship. But the military didn't go as I imagined either. My life was forced into a 5 years pause. Have you noticed? So far, none of these life-changing choices came from a clear goal. They all came from just 2 things: my curiosity about the unknown and how much I cared about other people. Every single choice at the time looked so meaningless. But I want you to pause with me and look at something. If I hadn't left home for Guangzhou, I would never have had the chance to come to Hawaii. If I hadn't come to Hawaii, I would never have joined the military. If I hadn't joined the military, I would never have been trapped for those 5 years. And if I hadn't been trapped for those 5 years, I would never have begun that deep journey into my own soul. Those 5 years to survive, I had to keep talking myself through it, finding outlets for my emotions. And just like that, by accident, I stumbled onto the path of personal growth. I was forced again and again to face my deepest fears and the wound from my childhood. And the reason I made it through those long 5 years was the 3 things I learned at 21 in that lesson death taught me. I'm living a life that so many people fought hard for and never got the chance to have. Life has no script, and what love really is. You see, without that one choice after another, choices that looked wrong, choices that looked so long, I would never have met the clear, brave person I am today. There are no wrong roads, only wrong perception. I want to tell you something. There's really no need to regret any choices in your life. The reason you regret is because you are standing in now, looking back at the choice you made then. But the truth is, if you really went back with the awareness you had at the time, you would walk the same road again. We regret because we've grown. That's why we think, if I could do it over, I'd choose a better path. But have you ever thought, your growth today in precisely because of the faults you took before, the people you met. In those worlds, there are no wrong roads and no wrong people. There's only wrong perception. The Buddha reached enlightenment not because some master guided him, but because through his own trial and error, his own reflection, he slowly saw the truth. Why is there no need to regret your choices? Because every hardship is here to make us into a better version of ourselves. And the moment you realize this, that's the moment your real life begins. After I got my citizenship, I naturally joined the real estate firm of my friend, the big sister I mentioned above, my au pair host family mom. Until 2 years ago, when I left that company, it was a decision harder than joining the military because a part of me felt like I was betraying her, the person who had been so good to me, who helped me through school, who helped me grow. But at the same time, I was less and less happy there. I had to make a choice. It was the first time in my life that I clearly, for myself, without caring what others would think of me, made a choice, even though I was already 38. Later, to make a living, I started driving Uber. And it was through that I found out Uber offers a scholarship for drivers, which is what made me decide to go back to school. I don't know if you've noticed, from the moment left real estate, that's when I truly began to plan and choose my own life with clarity. Before that, I was always being pushed along by fate and by other people. I'm so grateful that before I truly knew myself, before I understood this world, I didn't rush into marriage or having children or having a career. I see it as a kindness from the universe because the people I'd been with before were also lost on the road of who am I. If I had really married, started a family, or just stay at the company in China, neither them nor I would have been happy. We would only have become bigger obstacles on each other's paths to growth. Our life isn't like a straight line. It's more like a river. A river looks like it winds and bends, turning this way and that. But in the end, it still flows to the ocean. Once you've found that clear, awakened self, the rest of your life, whether at 40 or 50, whether with a family or just on your own, in this short, chaotic life, we will never be lost again. My dear friend, if you are also regretting or feeling anxious about a choice you've once made, I hope today's video gave you a slightly different way to see it. Tell me in the comments, what life choices brought you to today, to who you are now, and what did you learn from them? This is Zen with Zhen. If today's story resonated with you, please subscribe and hit the bell so we can walk this road together and make this road a little warmer.